I legitimately forgot that it wasn't October 13th. It's October 10th. Okay, so the October 10th episode today will be on two. No, that was offensive. Two Tales from the Crypt episodes. It's going to be on a Werewolf Concerto and on King of the Road. I watched them both today. And again, it's going to be another like Tales Crypt one. I mean, I'm going to hopefully try and like branch out in between. But again, there'll probably be a couple of ones like just reviews and recaps of just stuff I've watched of horror because again, Tales Crypt would be a simple one just to go through because it's 20 minutes a piece. I kind of want to watch these two because these two both have um well, they all have famous people. There's one of someone who's like famous who was famous then, a bunch of famous then, and someone who's famous now but wasn't famous at the time. So King of the Road is I think it's like the only like Tales from the Crypt episode of no horror or no real horror based or scary um like semblance of it. Its basic plot of it is Brad Pitt plays a drag racer, it's like you know like a Fast and Furious type. And whenever he does drag races, he basically is through one of his opponents dies, and then he's driving around. Then he realizes that this former, this current sheriff of the town, he was a drag racer called Iceman 20 odd years ago. And essentially, Brad Pitt wants to race him because 20 years ago, the sheriff accidentally killed someone in a drag race. His opponent actually died. It was manslaughter. So Brad Pitt's character just wants to race him just for the fact of racing him. It was directed by Richard Donner, music by Warren Zevon, which I mean, I rocked Warren Zevon's TV shows page afterwards, and just a huge side note. I'm gonna say this. I think unironically, the Adam Sandler version is. I thoroughly enjoy. Adam Sandler covered Wells of London, and it's a fantastic cover. Like I don't know why Adam Sandler. I don't know if Adam Sandler's been cast in a musical, but he should be cast in a musical. I think Adam Sandler should kind of like be cast in musicals because Adam Sandler does have a good. I don't know if Adam Sandler was cast in Rock of Ages, but should be cast in Rock of Ages because I feel like rock music type of thing. He would be aces in. It's neither here nor there. I only know need to know is that this says music by Rowan Zevon, directed by Richard Donner. It's was it directed by Richard Donner? Was it directed by the guy who does Grant? I've watched it again. Brain's like a sieve. Um, and it's a better interesting movie because it's an episode. Because again, it's not a horror based one. It's literally just like revenge. Brad Pitt wants to race someone, so Brad Pitt basically kidnaps his daughter and essentially says, "We'll race. If I beat you, I go free, but your daughter doesn't. But if you beat me, then your daughter goes free, and you can kill me." And Brad Pitt is basically just playing to rafters now. Like Brad Pitt is full on like full ham. This must have been one of Brad Pitt's earliest like roles. I don't know if this was before or after he did the horror film where the killer is the killer and like the entire movie is like, oh, maybe this killer is the killer, and if it's plot twist, the killer was the killer. It's kind of like not final exam. What the heck am I thinking of? I'm gonna quick just check. I'm looking at my phone because I want to check what it's called. Um, Brad. I'm gonna look at Brad Pitt because I think this must be Brad Pitt's first. His name's actually Born Winning Pitt. Born Winning Brad Pitt. Don't know. Will. I guess Brad Pitt makes more sense than Will Pitt. I think this was. his first took look go peck down to his bloody film thing. Okay. Oh, there's a pit in it. There's a planet named after him. I think this was his sub TV. Oh wait, no, it's been doing. I know this is 1992, so he was already on 21 John Street, Dallas, Phase Nightmare, Growing Pains. No Atoms Out. Oh, Cutting Class, that's it. Oh, he's on Family Rees, so. Okay, so no, I'm lying. I thought this was a 1980s one, it's 1992. Um, he's never actually hosted an episode of Saturday Night Live. I thought he would host episodes of Saturday Night Live. He didn't. Wow, okay. He plays himself and David Spade Eagle Eye Cherry 1998. And then he paid Dr. Anthony Fauci. Um, sorry. It's a really good video of me like looking at one. Okay, so I was actually in the 92. Wow, okay. Oh, sorry, I legitimately thought 1980s. So okay, no, this was when Brad Pitt was just starting to get big. It's after Family Reasons. It's after. So Cut Class is the slasher film where the killer is the killer, and they're like, oh no, the insane guy who kills people. He's not the insane guy that kills people, and the insane guy that kills people is the insane guy that kills people. And it's like, wow, what a plot twist! Like an episode of Maguire, the Rowan Atkinson's French detective thing, where like the entire episode he basically arrests the killer like 20 minutes in, like two episode, and then the killer who's been arrested at 20 minutes in. So it's like just an hour and 40 minutes of this Rowan Atkinson just twiddling his thumbs, and everyone twiddling their thumbs until the credits roll. Um, but it's a very good. I also find it's a very 1980s episode. It's revenge. It's father cars action revenge. Boom out. Okay, and then well, that can't be 1992 because I was. Oh wait, yeah, Timothy Dalton was technically James Bond until 1990, like 496, wasn't he? Yeah, sorry, because Will of Conjecto was in the same season. It's like Agatha Christie type. This is a horror one. Agatha Christie type, like TV series like Werewolf on the Loose. Timothy Dalton plays a werewolf hunter. Uh, Dennis Farina plays against type, which he plays very the camp hotel owner. Reginald Val Johnson appears in it. Walter Gorbell appears as a Nazi. Um, Roger Rabbit appears in it as someone who gets killed by a Goebel because uh, Goebel knew he was a Nazi. In Real Concerto, I think if you want like good like horror, especially with an entire basis of this entire series, this time most of the horror base. So I think based on the principles of what this is about, yeah, I think Rev Concerto is better. Both of them were good. I mean, Rev Concerto is a completely different kettle of fish than King of the Road. Fast and Furious, Brad Pitt drifts. My Guys Concerto is a good old TV show, especially to drink. Tim Felton doesn't know he's a werewolf, so he's fighting himself. Because he thinks a first a Nazi was a werewolf, and he thinks a girl he's got a thing for was the werewolf. And that's really kind of like good thing about House of the Crypt anthology shows that each show is different. Each and every episode is a different type of exception of two. There's two Tales from the Crypt episodes which are the exact same plot. Only one of them is an actor kills his fellow actors so he can play the part of Yorick. Is it Yorick? I don't know. Do you know the skull in Hamlet, the dead guy in Hamlet? Like the skull in Hamlet. It goes, he says his thing. And the other one is instead of a actor murdering actors so he can be a corpse in a play, It's a model murders a bunch of models so she can play a corpse in a beauty pageant. These two TV show episodes of Tough Crypt are the exact same, beat by beat, plot by plot, twist by twist. Only they've changed male actor to female model. But apart from that, most episodes are different because they go different ones. So, like I've done the three ones I talked about in this so far has been a one in which a traveling circus empath basically forces. I don't know if you're talking about that to me. Um, empath basically gets kills a man and gets killed by gorilla. Done a story where a race car driver becomes the ghost of a past and winds up dying for it. And we done this episode where a werewolf in a manor and Reginald Val Johnson. Because what's good about that one is like there's like a whole bunch of like again like Reginald Val Johnson, like Dennis Farina, Walter Goebel, Timothy Dalton, all these famous Reginald Val Johnson. If you don't know, is so that means in the span of like 2 to 3 like like span of like 4 years, like span of a couple of years, Timothy Dalton's appeared with a couple of Die Hard veterans. Roosevelt Johnson plays the cop. Do you know John McCain's buddy in Die Hard, like cop friend in Die Hard, who shoots the final baddie, and he has got this like crisis of faith. He doesn't like to shoot because the last time he shot someone who was a child, and he goes for that crisis of faith, and he appears in a cameo in Die Hard 2. And then Timothy Dalton appeared in a James Bond in License to Kill, which it's in License to Kill is the most 80s James Bond film ever because it's literally isn't a James Bond film. It's literally it's not Rambo. It's literally Cobra. Like License to Kill is literally just Cobra, but replace Sylvester Stallone with Timothy Dalton. Like it's an 80s action film. It's every like canon 80s film, every canon action film. But Timothy Dalton's, I mean, actually, to be fair, I would love to see him bring back just Timothy Dalton in more stuff because Timothy Dalton is dope. But yeah, I'm looking at all these. You can watch these on YouTube. All these episodes on YouTube. You can watch all these stuff on YouTube and stuff like that. And I think because each one they're only 20 minutes, exception of Yellow, which is 30 to 40 minutes long. It's an overlong one. All these episodes like 20 minutes, 22 minutes a piece, and they have like famous actors and famous directors and famous like people like within. So like each one has like a different one, each one different tale. So I think first episode one, William Sadler appears and he plays a uh, executioner turned vigilante. And then I think one of the last ones would take place all place in England. So there's one with Daniel Craig and a salesman, like a sales executive. There's one in which each one has different like actors, and you can like see who it is. Like Dennis Farina was in Wealth Contractor, and Dennis Farina was a police officer. That's why he played main police coppers. So this was really interesting watching him play against uh type. I think that's all really I've got much to say to it on this one. I'm might I'll probably be talking about Christmas in one of the later ones. I've got Christmas, I've got werewolves, I've got vampires, I've got creepypastas. I've got my thoughts on what makes a good Friday 13th, what's good bad Friday 13th, all that and more in the upcoming days. So, see ya. Good. Bye. Why do 1 15 minutes for? I don't